Hello, back on track with Tarn today. A song that I think I've kind of rescued from the fire. About a week ago, I was just completely pissed off with it. It just was not working at all, and I think I've wrestled some kind of control from it. The main problem I had was that the beginning and the end were terrible. I was launching straight into vocals and it sounded awful. The end was ponderous and far too long, and I've truncated that. Still a work in progress, but getting much better. I've got a solo that I've recorded about 4 times, and finally I think I'm happy with. We've got some little bits of vocal backing harmony work that are really enhancing the song, and generally it's just kind of starting to come together. I've put a little bit of a piano line under here, which is at the moment it's just stable chords, and I'm going to do more work on it. But so many new things have come in, and it sounds, I think, so much better from the last time we talked about it that I wanted to play you the version of the song as we've got it. We're discussing the whole process of these Back on Track episodes is evolution, so let's see where we're up to. Much better ending for the song. There were just way too many notes. Cut them all out. I had a problem because the guitar was ending abruptly, so I've just generated a massive throw to the delay effect. On the last chord that the guitar plays, and it just kind of bounces off into the distance, and that works perfectly well. The beginning and the vocals were just like far too abrupt, starting with the music, so I just added 4 bars of song. I basically found I think it was the first 4 bars of the song, but well, let's hear it. Just hear the drum bleed there. Yeah, I think that's the first 4 bars of the song, just literally repeated. And then obviously when the vocals come in, you've had some sort of introduction. Everything's not just jumping in immediately. Because I write the song from the perspective of passages of lyrics, then the first verse is the beginning of the song. It just completely stands to reason. I forget basically to put introductions in there, so that 4 bars is fixing that, and it has really helped an awful lot. The harmonies went in a couple of days ago. Cloudless days are longer in your arms. So I think they're really nice. Down on the mountainside. So sometimes obviously she's singing exactly the same thing. Sometimes have to wonder how or why. And then you get that kind of contrast thing. And then the harmonies at the end are just, Pauline does what she does best. So at every vocal line that we record, there's always oohs and ahs. We do oohs and ahs. So she sings oohs first, which is this one. And then she'll do a few takes of that so that I can pick the best one. And then while we're recording, I kind of do this symbol, which basically means flip to ah. And then she sings exactly the same phrase. And then when you add the two together, it's kind of magical. And then we move on to the next phrase. And do that twice. And then at the end, there's a third phrase. Next we've got the guitar solo. I think I struggled so much with this because I got it in my mind that I wanted an overdriven sound, and I had several attempts at it and they all just sounded awful, and in the end it's because it was supposed to be a clean sound. So I've actually recorded it completely dry. I take all of the effects off, then this is straight out of so this is dry into the Fender amp guitar, straight into the into my Fender Twin, out of the Fender Twin into the UA aux line signal out, and that's it. That's all we've got. And I figure it sounds, the valve amp sounds so good. That I can always add effects on later. So this might be a modus operandi for me going forward. If I want a clean sound, do that. If I want a dirty sound, then I can engage the channel on the Fender Twin, and then you get the magnificent tube crunch sound. The Fender overdriven channel is just absolutely to die for, and something that I've colossally neglected over the years. I just constantly seem to be obsessed with trying to find the ultimate distortion sound via some multi-effects unit, when I've got a Fender Twin. For God's sake, use the bloody thing. So anyway, this is a clean sound, over the top of which we've laid effects. So let's hear each of these effects and see what effect they're having on the sound. So the LA3, the CLA3, is basically just controlling any peaks that might be threatening to be a little bit too loud, just controlling them a little bit, and emulating that kind of analog warmth. More warmth to be had from the pull tech. So that's the character dealt with, and any control of the transients that I need to make, any very slight level boosts that I want to just strengthen the guitar sound a little bit. So that's my fundamental sound. Then the Q3 is a pure sculpting thing, controlling the lows, trimming a little bit, tiny bit of the high. There's very little up there, but anything that is just taken away to prevent it causing unnecessary interference, and then cutting a tiny little bit of mud. So that's really just cleaning things up. You can see I'm hardly having any effect on either side. And then last but not least, I've not used this this box before, the Faces, and I do need to get to grips with what all the controls are doing, but I just dialed in one of the presets, the 2 wide preset, and it's doing something quite magical to the sound. Maybe it's a little bit overbearing, maybe I've gone a little bit too far, but I love the sound, so I'm kind of tempted to leave it as it is for now. So that's all of the inserts dealt with, and then we've got a couple of sends, delay and reverb. Pretty straightforward stuff. Again, I've only just started using this Arturia reverb plugin, but it sounds really, really nice. I've got it set really quite low, but it's doing the job. So I'm very happy with that guitar sound. I can see me coming back to that little brew of sounds and using it again in the future because I think it sounds really sweet. Then we've got the piano, which is the Omnisphere LA Custom, the magnificent Yamaha piano emulation. It just is absolutely the best. Really, really nice. This is the main reason I wanted Omnisphere. I'd heard this thing and thought, want one of them. And it's just providing a little bit of structure in the background. It's the chord track just dragged straight down. Now I will embellish it, and there's a few notes, even when I was playing back just then, I thought I don't want that chord there, you know, and there's stuff that needs to be done. So this is brand new and the latest kind of new sound to come into the song, and I will try some little articulations and whatnot. I don't know exactly how I'm going to embellish it, but I'm really liking the way it sits there. It just seems to be the right instrument for the occasion. And the final new thing that's happened is this hats line. It was just a little bit too static without it. If we listen to the drum line without it, and then I bring it in, it's quite quiet. It's just providing a little bit of extra support. I've brought it in on a part in the song when this line is quite inactive. A little bit more going on over here, but it's always subtle, and it's just providing an extra little bit of motion, which is helping it just swing along. So all in all, we're friends again. We were starting to fall out, and now we're friends again. So I think at this point, this is where I get into the stage of being careful not to break it. I think that's pretty much most of the sound that I want to occur in the song. I don't want many more instruments, if any. I just want to concentrate on getting all of this stuff good, sounding good, convert it all into audio files, and then move on to the final mix and really try and polish it up. Hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, please hit the like button, and I'll catch you for the next one. Thanks very much for watching.